Appreciate everybody being here. It's a pretty exciting day, and it says a lot about where we've been. It says a lot about where we're going. As every Bulldog fan knows, the last few years have been pretty exciting. Consecutive winning seasons, consecutive bowl wins, attendance records, all those things have put us in a position to have a foundation that's going to lead to even more success and more consistency and eventually championships. Of course, those factors I mentioned, the winning, the attendance, all those things are important, but facilities are another important factor in building that foundation. 11 months ago, we broke ground on a $25 million Leo W. Seal Jr. football complex, 88,000 square foot facility. We had several hundred Bulldog families step up and help make that a reality and help us pay for that through private funds. And that facility is going to become the day-to-day home to Mississippi State football. And it's scheduled to be open when the calendar turns to January. As I like to say, when Coach Mullen and our guys come back from that third straight bowl game, we're going to hand them the keys to their new offices. Today we're here to announce a $75 million expansion and renovation of Davis Wade Stadium. This project will take our stadium capacity to 61,337 seats and provide unbelievable fan amenities, which is a very important part of this project. Here's the exciting piece. It's going to be ready in time for the 100th anniversary of Scott Field in 2014. These two projects combined, with these two projects, Mississippi State Athletics will have committed $100 million to its football facilities, which I think speaks to the commitment level of having that foundation that can lead to future success. None of this would be possible without unbelievable support from our campus. I've said it every time I get a chance to introduce the man. Every good athletic director has a great president that they work for, and I work for the absolute best in the Southeastern Conference. At this time, I'd like to introduce and welcome our president, Dr. Mark Keenum.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you, Scott. What a great occasion. I'm excited to be here for this wonderful occasion. I have a great announcement today. You know, I'm excited to be here not because I'm the president of Mississippi State University. I'm excited to be here because I'm a lifelong Bulldog football fan. So this is a wonderful occasion for us as a university. You know, today's announcement of our stadium expansion is a natural progression of the university's continuing support for our football program here at Mississippi State to meet the ever-growing demands of our ever-growing student enrollment and meet an exciting game day experience for so many of our alumni and our fans, to meet their growing demands to have a wonderful game day experience here at Mississippi State University. And as I mentioned, this is a natural progression as charter members of the most prestigious athletic conference in the nation, the Southeastern Conference. This expansion will allow us to be even more competitive in this very competitive league and to compete for championships. You know, I remember as a young faculty member here at Mississippi State in the early 80s when the decision was made for the first major expansion of Scott Field and Davis Wade Stadium. It was across the way to add the upper deck on the west side. We thought, how in the world are we ever going to fill that stadium up with all those new seats? But we did. And we continued to grow. And you saw the university's commitment to expanding the stadium here on the east side with the upper deck expansion in the late 90s and in 2000 with this wonderful expansion. So this is a continuation of progress here at Mississippi State that we're very excited about. And I want to commend Scott Strickland. You know, as he talked about me, I want to tell you what, I've been around now for 3.5 years, and I've been to several SEC meetings and meeting with other presidents and other athletic directors and leaders at other universities in the athletic arena. But we by far have the best athletic director in the entire Southeastern Conference. There's no question. And I want to commend him and all of his athletic staff here for their vision, their commitment to hard work to make today possible. And I also want to commend Coach Mullen and all of our coaches for their leadership and their commitment to excellence here with our football program, and to our players for what they're doing to set an example for all of us by leading the way and having a new tradition of winning football here at Mississippi State University. So I look forward to being here the opening day of the 2014 football season, to welcoming our friends from the University of Southern Mississippi, the Golden Eagles, for the very first game of our 2014 season here at our newly expanded Davis Wade Stadium. It's going to be a great event for all of us to celebrate. So thank you for being here, and I'd like to call on Scott to come back and give more details of what our plans are. And as Joe mentioned, we'll be around to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Keenum. You know, this process began about 2 years ago, and we worked closely with LPK Architects out of Meridian, and through them we engaged a national sports architect firm, 360 Architecture out of Kansas City, Missouri, who've done a number of major stadium projects across the country. And 2 summers ago we went and got with LPK and started designing not just this piece, but what's going to happen. As Dr. Keenum mentioned, this is a natural progression. People are going to come after us. They're going to want more and more seats in this stadium. Let's make sure we plan for this expansion, but let's plan for future expansion as well. And once we finish that and we share those exciting plans and overviews and concepts, we stepped back and said, let's get serious about doing this first phase. And before we go any further, I want to recognize a guy who was a big part of this, a great team from Meridian, LPK Architects. Bob and Kathy Luke are here with us today. Bob, thank you so much. We had 3 goals when we started this project. We wanted to add more seating, both general seating and premium seating. We wanted to improve the amenities for our fans who come in here. We talk a lot about having great experiences, and the amenities that our fans come in contact with on game day are a big part of having great experiences, and so that was a very important goal in this process. And the third piece is we want to improve the aesthetics of our stadium and tie in some of the beautiful brick we have on this campus, some of the beautiful architecture from our campus, and start to bring it into Davis Wade Stadium. As I mentioned, we've had a lot of attendance records, a lot of winning seasons here lately. Season tickets have sold out for 3 straight years. We've had 16 straight sellouts here at Davis Wade Stadium. We have several hundred names currently on a waiting list waiting for season tickets. So here's the plan we came up with. When you hear us say we're currently at 55,000 seats, we're going to 61,000 seats. $75 million may sound like a lot of money to only add 6,000 seats. In effect, we're building close to 9,000 new seats. A little over 8,800 new seats are going to be built in this north end zone. We're going to lose about 2,600 when you take those bleachers out, and so that's where you get that net in there. But there's so much more than just seats to this facility, to what's going to be in here. Today, we awarded a contract to Harold Contracting Group out of Jackson, Mississippi, to begin the process of this construction immediately. We're not waiting until the end of the 2012 season. We're going to begin this process immediately. I'd like to recognize a couple people from Harold who are here today. Roy Anderson III and Tom Black are both here. If you guys would raise your hand. Thank you all for being here. And while work will begin immediately, our seating capacity for this fall, 2012, will not change. We're going to keep the north bleachers in place this fall. Those will come down as soon as our last home game in November is complete. And as we mentioned, the expansion and renovation will be completed in time for the 2014 season. $75 million project. We'll let bonds to $68 million worth of bonds, another $7 million in private fundraising through the Bulldog Club to help pay for this expansive project that's really going to transform what Davis Wade Stadium looks like. I'm going to share some of the details real quick, and all this is going to be available on the website. There's a fact sheet you can look at, but I'm just going to walk through some of it real quick. Of those 8,800 seats, about 7,000 seats are going to be grandstand seats in that north bowl. Some of the exciting areas are in our new premium areas. 4 new distinct premium areas. We have 50 suites on the east side. We have a waiting list for more suites. So we're going to build 22 new suites in that north end zone. Our current suites on the east side, for the most part, seat about 24 people. The new suites are a little bit smaller options for people. We'll have some 12-seat suites and some 18-person suites to give our fans some options who are interested in purchasing those. We have 236 loge seats. This is a different concept. There aren't many universities that have loge seats. Those who have put them in, I know North Carolina has them, Minnesota has them, Oregon State has them, have found this product to be incredibly popular. It's like a club, but you've got more room than you have in a typical club seat. It's a little bit more private, semi-private is probably a better way to look at it. Very exciting. Those will be sold in groups of 4, 6, and 8 across various price points. And then at the top of the structure, right below a brand new scoreboard that's designed to be the same size as the one currently on the south end of the stadium. We're going to have plenty of scoreboard viewing opportunities for all our fans. We have a new club level. We call it the Scoreboard Club, about 1,100 seats. They'll provide all the amenities you would expect in a normal club: food, restrooms, places to watch other games, personal locker space. What's going to be a little unique is off to the east and west side of these seats is going to be a patio. They allow our patrons up there to stretch their legs and fellowship with one another and have great viewing angles to watch the Bulldogs play. We had this space at ground level we really didn't know what to do with, and so we came up with, I think, something that's incredibly unique in the world of college athletics. There's some pro teams that have done similar things as far as a ground level suite or ground level premium opportunity. We have created what's known as the Gridiron. It's a club-like space on the ground level that there are no seats attached to it. But anyone who has a ticket anywhere in the stadium can buy a membership into the Gridiron, and they can go down and treat it like their club level. They can be there pregame, they can be there throughout the game if they want, then go back to their seat. We have so many patrons who love their seats on the west side. They've had them for generations. And we want to provide those people an opportunity where they can have a club-like experience and still keep their seat on the west side. Buy a membership into the Gridiron. You get all the things I mentioned: food, TVs, restrooms. But one of the really neat features is there's a terrace outside the Gridiron toward the field. And you walk out and you're at field level, and you can stand out there and watch pregame warm-ups. You can stand out there and watch the whole game if you'd like, and be a part of the action of SEC football from the ground level. That's going to be something very popular and very unique. The Gridiron also houses a pair of 30-person suites that the Bulldog Club will lease out on a game-by-game basis. We have a lot of individuals a lot of groups that want to just do a one-time, for one game, get a group of people and have a unique experience. And this will provide them at ground level, there at the back of the end zone, to get some of their buddies together and lease one of those suites. Bulldog Club members can begin pre-ordering new premium seats beginning today. Some of you have brochures in your hand, or brochures in the mail to every single season ticket holder and Bulldog Club member that they can start looking at those options. Fans can also log on to the Bulldog Club website, msubulldogclub.com, and get the information on pre-ordering those premium seats. Something else that we have a real need for, about 30% of our current season ticket holders have groups of tickets in different parts of the stadium. And what has happened over the years is they've had their seats and they wanted to add to them, and there's no seats available where they sit, and they've had to add them in a different part of the stadium. So in leading up to the fall of 2014, we're going to reseat Davis Wade Stadium that year, much like we've done in basketball at the Hump in the last several years. It's a fair and equitable way to make sure everybody has seats together. And with the new seating options, I think we're going to have plenty of different opportunities for people to get good quality seats. And we're going to freeze those ranks in March of 2014, so everybody has plenty of time to make sure they get their priority ranking where they want them to be. By March of 2014, we'll reseat the stadium going into that 2014 season in the new expansion. A few other features in that north end zone. I mentioned the video board. The video board that was put in 3 years ago has made such a huge impact on our game day atmosphere. We still have some people on the south end of the stadium don't have a great view of that. We're going to make sure they've got a great board to look at. on that new north end zone. There's going to be a plaza on the outside of the stadium that's going to be the shape of our state. And we're going to call it the Mississippi Plaza. And it's going to represent all 82 counties in our state are going to be represented on the Mississippi Plaza right there. 75% of our student body is from Mississippi. So many of our student athletes come from Mississippi. We feel like this is a great way to pay tribute back to the state that we hold so dear. A few other things are going to be in that north end zone. A new catering kitchen that will help our food service folks be more efficient. We're going to move the visitors' locker room to the north end zone. It does a couple things. Number one, right now, about 2 hours before game time, when the junction on game day is as packed as it's going to be, the visiting team buses come right up in the middle of that right now. And we're going to move them to the north end zone to alleviate that. Also allow our game day recruiting lounge to expand and provide us some more space for recruiting needs on game day. That brick exterior that I talked about is going to cover up that whole north end zone, as the images show. In an effort to make sure that we're smart going forward, I said we had planned for the next expansion, the expansion after that. This north end zone is designed to support an additional 22 suites and an upper deck that will hold about 5,000 people. So we've got a plan in place. We're building the structure so that it will support another round of expansion when we get ready to move forward and Coach Mullen keeps winning and we got to keep selling more seats. That brick facade on the north is going to wrap around to the west side, and it's going to totally transform the look of the old original west side of our stadium. But that's not the only change coming to the west side of our stadium. The west side concourse, which needs a little work, is going to be completely gutted out and completely rebuilt and provide our fans with new restrooms, new concessions, and improved layout to maximize the space our fans have to move around in. Elevators. We currently have 5 elevators in our stadium. We have 4 on the east side. We have 1 on the west side. When this expansion is complete, we're going to have 12 elevators at Davis Wade Stadium. I'm waiting for the applause. 4 of those new elevators are going to go on the west side. We'll have some in the north end zone as well. The number of restroom fixtures will nearly double. When the stadium expansion is complete, we'll go from a little over 300 to over 600 stadium restroom fixtures. Point-of-sale locations, fixed point-of-sale locations for concession stands. So basically the number of lines that we can service our patrons with will increase by 40%. We'll go from a little over 100 to nearly 150 concession lines and point-of-sale locations. And finally, for those of you who do sit on the west side, you know, you come in, there's on game day, there's 2 or 3 big TV trucks that park underneath the west concourse and eat up a lot of space. We're going to relocate those trucks. We're going to build a parking spot for them between the Barnes & Noble parking lot and Bost, and put some underground cabling that will allow them to pull up on game day and connect and be out of the way of our patrons and our fans, still get what they need done, and open up that much more space in that west concourse. All of this is possible because of our unbelievable fans. I mentioned the sellout streak and the season tickets to being sold out. I mentioned the wonderful support we've had to do the SEAL building, and we're going to get support to help with this facility as well. Everything we do is possible because of our fans and their determination to make sure that Mississippi State is competing at the highest level of college athletics. And we've got a great foundation in place. We're about to add to it, and the future is incredibly bright. With that, I'm going to take a few questions here from the podium, and then I know Dr. Keenum and Coach Mullen has shown up, and some others are going to be available for some questions off to the side. David?
Scott, you mentioned no changes for the seating this year. What do you expect capacity to be for 2013 with everything going on?
It's our hope that we don't lose any capacity in the fall of 2013, that enough of the bold-in structure is in place that we can at least maintain where we are in the fall of 2013. That's critical because of the demand issues we have right now relative to our supply, that we don't lose seat count.
And secondly, I know it's hard to project what season ticket costs will be in the future, but when this is done, how would you compare the net revenue from football in this new facility to what you get now?
Well, we're going to generate enough off these new seats to pay our debt service off these bonds. And it's our hope that it will provide a little bit more than that and that'll help, obviously, with some operating cost. You know, it's hard to say. Right now, I think we have a very affordable, a great value among what our pricing is for our season tickets and our single game tickets, and we hope to always be in a position to have a great, affordable package for our fans to buy, and I think that'll continue. I think the main takeaway from this is we're going to have more opportunities for more people to come and be a part of what's turned into a pretty special game day atmosphere.
Hey, Scott, congratulations. This is great. I just want to know one thing. With all the expansion, you talked about the load seating and different new amenities. Will this have any impact on the culture of cowbells?
I hope it only makes them louder, is my first thought. You know, our fans have done an unbelievable job, especially in the last few years, working with the SEC within the new guidelines that allows us to bring them in legally, bring them only at certain times. That hasn't changed. That won't change. And I fully anticipate our fans to continue doing what we ask them to do. You know, I do think, I mean, our stadium's pretty loud now with or without cowbells. And I do think by closing in that end zone, you add to, you know, the noise, and you add to some of the excitement level.
Scott, with the addition of that large new score, you're not going to double the volume, are you?
We make no promises. Bob?
Two questions. One, got a Twitter question if student seating is going to increase, decrease, stay the same, any of that. And then also, through all of this, did you go to other stadiums and scout things, looking for things you wanted to do, anything like that?
Right now, our plan is to keep the number of seats we have allotted for students to be the same. It's about 11,000, which, if you look, and what we did is we looked at how that compares to other schools in our league. And both as a percentage of total student body and as a percentage of seats in the stadium, we're among the top 2 or 3 in the SEC as far as the percentage of seats we provide for students. So we feel good about that, and we're at I think we've got a good number right now. They sell out, but we don't have a ton of requests beyond what we sell out for our students. Obviously, as enrollment grows, that may change, and we can always come back and look at that later, but we're going to continue to offer the 11,000 seats for our students. And we're very fortunate that they come and they fill those seats, and not every campus in our league can say that. You know, your other question about going and looking at other places, yeah, you know, we 3 years ago, right after Dr. Keenum became president, we actually toured a lot of, about 4 or 5 campuses and athletic programs outside of our league, and got some ideas. And of course, we go around during the season and see all the SEC schools. So you know, some of these ideas were things we took from other places. I mentioned Oregon State has the load seats. We got to see those firsthand because we went out to Oregon State and looked at what they have. You know, you get other ideas and you hear some of the things that work at other places and some of the things they wish they had done differently. And then, you know, we've had our own premium club and suites for a little over a decade now, and so we were able to kind of use our own data and see what has worked well and maybe what are some parts of the market that we're missing, and try to fill those gaps. Again, I want to thank everybody for being here today. It's a great day to be a Bulldog. For you media guys, as I mentioned, Dr. Keenum and Coach Mullen, myself are here. If you have ticket questions, Mike Ritchie from the Bulldog Club can help you with those. Bo Hemphill is here if you have any questions about fundraising efforts. And thank you all for being here. And with that, we're adjourned. Hail State.